A very sickly and weak Donald Trump hiding out at Bedminster, one of his golf resorts, on the taxpayer dime yet again. Here, Donald Trump at the resort last night saying that smart people don't like me. This is a speech that he was giving, and then he starts to promote Bedminster and his other golf courses and says that he's got the hottest wedding venues around. Here he says smart people don't like him. Here, play this clip.
Smart people don't like me, you know, and they don't like what we talk about.
Then he says everybody wants to get married at Trump properties. You got to get married here. We're the hottest company around right now. You're the hottest company around? What the hell is this guy talking about? Here, play this clip.
Convenience for a few months, but we're going to double it up. Everybody wants to get married here, and we hold like 275, and when times are good like they are right now, we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. People want 500 or 600 or 700.
Like, do y'all realize how humiliating this is to the United States of America? I mean, we now know that Denmark isn't buying its surface-to-air military defense systems from the United States. Portugal's not buying F-35s from the United States. But guess what, everybody? The Trump company's got hot wedding venues right now. Then Donald Trump talks about how he doesn't want to attend the smaller funeral for Charlie Kirk, the more intimate one where there's not going to be cameras. He wants to attend the big one, he goes. I want to be at the big one. Here, play this clip.
He was a friend of a lot of the people in this room, and he was a really special guy. So I'm going to be going to Charlie's, I guess you'd call it a funeral. There's the small one. I said, can we do the big one? Because we're going to give him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is a big deal.
And then Donald Trump is there very bewildered. He's like the shooter of Charlie Kirk came from a Christian family. You know, he was trying to say the word white. They were a conservative Christian family, good people. Yeah, they were Trump supporters. They were your supporters. And he goes, but this kid, he was radicalized. He was radicalized. Here, play this clip.
He's become radicalized. So many things have been learned about him so quickly. He's become totally radicalized and crazy, and it must have been traumatic because the parents are conservative people, supposed to be very nice people, living in Utah, and the father turns in the son. Boy, that's a tough deal.
And that's the new thing, not the new thing, but that's what they're pushing again right now, that he was radicalized by trans ideology. They've tried this multiple times already. Remember, first they said the bullet casings had trans ideology on them, or the cartridges had trans ideology. What do you mean the cartridges had trans ideology? What does it even mean that it had trans ideology? And now they're saying he had a roommate once, and the roommate was trans, and that's how he became the shooter. First off, like, we don't even know that the roommate is trans, and then if anything, the roommate's been like cooperative and helpful, if anything, the way it's being reported. But this is what they're pushing. Now today, Donald Trump is golfing as prices soar, as inflation is surging, as jobless claims last week was one of the worst jobless claims reports in a generation, as Trump's trade war against the world is destroying the United States, as people are living paycheck to paycheck and barely can afford to pay their rent or their mortgage. And we're seeing bankruptcies throughout the country. But Donald Trump's golfing, everybody, on the taxpayer dime, right? So just if you've been following the videos I've been doing over the past few days, they go from Club Rose Garden, where they destroyed the Rose Garden and built an elite club for Trump's right-wing cabal that's covering up for a sex pedo trafficking ring of Jeffrey Epstein right now. They're eating like filet mignon and like all this steak and caviar on the Rose Garden that the taxpayers are paying for. Then he posted yesterday? He goes, all the people at Hotel Cipriani or Club Cipriani are waving at me. Then I looked at it. It's like $10,000 for like 3 or 4 nights there. It's like a monthly membership of this like elite club. And now he's at the golf club where he charges members hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to join to get access to him. And the taxpayers are paying for all of this. But guess what, everybody? You get a MAGA medal. Yeah, this is what Trump was sending yesterday and today. Some people are saying that you've hit the jackpot. You just received the Trump Patriot Medal. This means you're officially one of the strongest patriots. Some people will say you hit the jackpot. Claim your Trump Patriot medal today. Then you've got to pay him money for like a fake Trump Patriot medal. This is what he sends to his supporters. And I show you this because every day he gives them a new award, but you have to pay for it. And it's super secret and super exclusive. But this is what you get. So while he's screwing you over, while he's taking away your health care, and while he's depriving you of getting an education, and while things are getting more expensive, you get a Super Trump Patriot medal. Yay! I'll show you this too. This is part of the Republican cope, if you will. Utah's Governor Cox was on TV today, and he was describing the shooter, Tyler Robinson. Very normal, very smart young man. A lot of gaming going on, deep, dark internet, Reddit culture, infused with trans ideology. I mean, these people are ridiculous. He doesn't say that, but it's like that's what they're pushing on the right wing. That's what the influencers, all the right wing influencers, all the right wing politicians are out there, saying this over and over again. Stop picking on a marginalized community. Stop picking on trans people who just want to freaking live. So gross. Here, play this clip of Governor Cox.
We do know, and again, this has been well publicized, that this was a very normal young man, a very smart young man, 4.0 student, I think a 34 on the ACT, went to my alma mater, Utah State University, but was only there for a very short amount of time. I dropped out after less than one semester, and it seemed to happen kind of after that, after he had moved back to the southern part of Utah. Clearly, there was a lot of gaming going on. Friends that have confirmed that there was kind of that deep, dark internet, the Reddit culture, and these other dark places of the internet where this person was going deep. And you saw that on the casings. I think I didn't have any idea what those inscriptions, many of those inscriptions even meant, but they are they're certainly the memification that is happening in our society today.
And then you have the MAGA Republicans here, of course, like Anna Paulina Luna from Florida. And she posts a photo, and this is like a big meme going around now amongst like right-wing leaders of like Lincoln, Kennedy, Martin Luther King. Then they put Charlie Kirk and Jesus all together, and it goes, all because of their words. Let's be very clear, okay? I condemn political violence in the strongest possible terms. Charlie Kirk was a bad person who said bad things. He hated Martin Luther King. He said the most despicable things, Charlie Kirk did, about black people, about gay people, about LGBTQ people, about immigrants, after school shootings. Charlie Kirk would say things like, this is the price you pay. This is what's needed. He said, the Second Amendment is important, so important that this is okay. This is acceptable, basically. That this is an acceptable outcome because that's what the Second Amendment calls for. He's called for violent things before. He was one of the most divisive voices. Stop acting like this was a good guy. And it's ridiculous. I mean, do you see this purge? All these companies firing employees. If you've ever said something negative about Charlie Kirk, you kidding me? You have the military looking through all of their officers and anyone in the military's file. If they said negative things about Charlie Kirk and forcing them out. Same thing with government employees right now. We have Marco Rubio saying that if you enter the country, they're going to be looking to see what you've said about Charlie Kirk. Like, are you kidding me? And these are, First Amendment free speech. Charlie Kirk was a bad person. He was. Absolutely what happened should never have happened. Condemn violence to the fullest extent. But he was not a good person. He said horrible, hateful things over and over and over again. And they want what? The uproar, they want the European Union Parliament. They're supposed to do a moment of silence. The European Union Parliament's like, we're not. Why would we do a moment? We're in Europe. Why would we do a moment of silence? And then the right-wing media was like, European Union failed to do a moment of silence. They tried to pull this crap also with like the Democrats in the House of Representatives. MAGA Mike's like, let's do a moment of silence. Democrats are like, okay, we'll do the moment of silence. And then Lauren Boebert's like, now let's do moments of prayers. And Democrats are like, we just did the moment of silence. You want to do a moment of prayer? Let's go on. We got business to do. The moments of prayer? What are you even talking about, Lauren Boebert? And then the right wing's like, Democrats refuse to do moment of silence. Like they just did 90 seconds of silence. Okay. They did the moment of silence. They showed their respect. And now they got to do the business. By the way, I found this article on the blind spot feature of Ground News. You know, I use Ground News for my morning research before I do all of these videos. That's how I stay up to date on all of the news that I get in order to do this show. It's a subscriber funded app, by the way. And the news site, and every day they pull in thousands of articles from around the world and organize them by story and then show you what the right's reporting, what the center's reporting, what the left is reporting. It's a game changer because as active, responsible citizens and reporters, we must get our news from reliable sources. In Trump's America, being informed about the facts and media bias is the most important thing that you can do. One of the things that's clear to me is that independent media seems to have more reliable sources than what I even see with these big conglomerates in terms of their stories. That's one of the things that, at least in my opinion, I'm seeing. That independent media seems to have a higher factuality. The plan that I use from Ground News, it's called the Vantage subscription plan. Those are all the tools that I use. So, and I like their blind spot feature, which shows me what's the left covering, what's the right covering. So that story about the European Union not doing a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk, as reported all over right-wing media. The left-wing media really wasn't reporting because the right-wing media wanted to push this story. Look, in Europe, they're disrespectful to Charlie Kirk. They're supposed to, everyone's supposed to know who Charlie Kirk is in the European Union Parliament. I mean, what are we talking about here? So if you want to just ever use the tools that I use, go to ground.news/MTN. We're going to give you 40% off the Ground News Vantage plan. It's the plan that I use every morning. They're subscriber funded at Ground News. You're not only getting a tool we all need today, you're also supporting the work we do on this YouTube channel. So go to ground.news/MTN. We've pinned the link to purchase your subscription below. ground.news/MTN. One more time, ground.news/MTN, and get that 40% off the Vantage plan that I use. Now, Eric Trump was on Fox this morning, and he said, he always has these weird stories. Someone came up to me with tears in their eyes and said, Eric, we support your family. So he goes, and a Jamaican man came up to me speaking broken English, and the Jamaican said to me, I am Charlie Kirk. Okay, English is the main language in Jamaica. Eric, play this clip.
Well, I mean, Erica right there was so powerful. I watched the entire thing. I couldn't believe her strength and her courage. You know, there's that famous quote right after Pearl Harbor, I think we've just awoken a sleeping giant and filled him with terrible resolve. And it kind of rings true here. That's exactly what you did. It literally, as I was showing up to the studio, Maria, there was an older Jamaican man who came up to me in very broken English and said, Mr. Trump, I'm very sorry about Charlie Kirk. He was an amazing Christian. I am Charlie Kirk, right? It's transcended the generation of youth. Like, everybody over the last, couple of days has been talking about how Charlie created the greatest youth movement. What's happened with this assassination has affected everybody. I've had employees, Maria, call me and say, my 17-year-old daughter has been in her room crying. It's changed her immensely. I mean,
then Eric Trump tries to stoke more division and goes, this is a hit on our country. This was a hit on our movement. It's a hit on Christianity. It's a hit on religion. Okay. The shooter came from a family that supported your family, a Trump supporting family, a religious family. They were white. They were MAGAs. Eric, play the clip.
This is transcending not only the youth generation, but also the older generations. This is a hit on our country. It's a hit on our movement. It's a hit on, Christianity. It's a hit on religion. It's a hit on freedom. It's emphasized the dichotomy between, good and evil in this country. And they truly have awoken that sleeping giant, just not within the youth vote, but really transcending everybody who's in this nation. It's had such a profound effect on this nation. And seeing Erica on there, she was so unbelievably articulate, so unbelievably strong. This could have been the greatest mistake these people have ever made.
Then you had Senator Katie Britt from Alabama, and she's like, and all these people who are out there calling Trump Hitler and calling Trump fascist. J.D. Vance, RFK Jr., called him that. It's his cabinet who had previously called him that. Play this clip.
Disgusting. The rhetoric that led us to this moment, calling President Trump a fascist, calling him Hitler. You had news organizations and mainstream media celebrating that, allowing those things to take place and be said on their networks. Right. That is dangerous.
I've also been doing a lot of reports on this as well, and it's worth mentioning here. We need to really have that international perspective. By the way, it's one of the reasons I use that Ground News link in description below also. International perspective is so important right now. So we see what's going on because a new world order is shaping as America is getting weaker. Just over the past, week or so, we've had India, Brazil, Japan, South Korea all get into massive kind of public fights with the United States. And it's a continuation of other massive public fights standing up. I mean, the U.S. raiding a South Korea factory in Georgia with militarized vehicles, shackling South Korean workers. Donald Trump offending Modi over and over again in India, trying to take credit for resolving the India and Pakistan war, sanctioning India or putting 50% tariffs on India because Modi wouldn't tell that Donald Trump should get the Nobel Peace Prize because Trump wants to claim credit for resolving the India and Pakistan war. In Brazil, Donald Trump wants to support his fellow insurrectionist Jair Bolsonaro, who was just sentenced to 27 years in prison because the Brazil Supreme Court stands on business and did what our Supreme Court in the United States should have done. Instead, our Supreme Court, our broken right-wing fascist Supreme Court in the United States, gave Donald Trump absolute immunity. And in Japan, they just view Donald Trump as just a complete and utter fraud, someone who tears up prior trading relationships and just continues to lie about what the fake trade deal is with Japan. And so Japanese business people and leaders look at Donald Trump with a great deal of disdain. Then our European allies are buying weapons from Europe right now, not from the United States. And I've covered this before, but you've got, Portugal picking the French Rafale instead of American F-35s. Even if the F-35 may be a superior plane, just think about that. Countries rather buy planes that may not be as good or not as good militarily because they think that Trump's going to do kill switches or not provide additional component parts and use American military equipment as a tool of extortion. So they're like, why would we want to buy from America if we're just going to be extorted by Donald Trump? We have Portugal. You had Denmark buying a missile system from a French-Italian company. You have Portugal buying F-35s, not buying F-35s, buying the Rafale from France. You have Canada doing a full review of F-35s. If they put it this way, if the equipment was the same in terms of its effectiveness, no country would be buying American military equipment. The reality is that the American defense industry has better equipment and other countries though are trying to now go, we can't rely on America anymore. So we've got to step up. So that's what we're seeing right now. Not that we can't rely on it. We got to do it ourselves. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
New Midas merch drop. Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.MeidasTouch.com.